financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals just like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait, apply now.
We interrupt this commercial break for an important story.
There once was a man from Nebraska who went searching for food in Alaska. When his stomach was rumbling while laying in bed, he could think of only one option, Führer's cheese spread. So he left it once and drove day and night to return back home for cheese spread delight. Now his stomach is full and the voice in his head tells him no more vacations without Führer's cheese spread. Find yours today at most local grocers.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio, video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovebneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today. Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2. Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit lincolnchildrensmuseum.org.
Hi, this is Tom Osborne. Join me on September 23rd and dine at your favorite local Renza in support of Teammates Mentoring. 10% of Renza sales on September 23rd will benefit your local Teammates Mentoring chapter. Teammates Mentoring helps students reach their full potential by providing a caring adult mentor to meet with them once a week in school. Thank you for your support of Teammates Mentoring. We will see you at Runza on September 23rd.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainer driving left side. His Boyer picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Nafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. It is The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer alongside DP Derek Pearson for the first hour here before AD joins the show at 10 a.m. DP, good morning. Happy Tuesday, my friend.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. You get me for 25 minutes.
That is right.
I have a teammate I have to go see, and a high school coach, and a couple other kids that have requested my presence.
Absolutely.
At a school this morning. So
Absolutely.
That's where I'm gonna go.
Well, we have so much to get into. AD and I will dive into a little bit of what Matt Rule talked about on Monday in the press conference. We're not going to worry about the video. But for the most part, let's DP. I want to get your thoughts as a UFC boxing guy yourself.
Mm-hmm.
This Saturday, it feels like it's kind of gone under the radar for these last couple of months, and it's snuck up on us. It is Canelo versus Bud Crawford, and it's going to be from Vegas, on Netflix, available for everybody.
Yeah,
I want you to kind of take off and run with it, of what you think Canelo and Crawford's going to look like with Crawford moving up to 154 again and defending the title.
Well, I mean, it's kind of the world in which natural body weight matters somewhat. I mean, I think it's always intriguing when these moving up a weight class. It happened with Sugar Ray Leonard and Marvin Hagler. It happened with Tommy Hearns and Duran. It happened in the light heavyweights, because people forget that Evander Holyfield was a light heavy and moved up. It happens, and often the results aren't good.
Yeah,
because there's a natural level of power, a natural level of endurance, getting in fighting shape versus in your walk around weight. Now, that being said, I mentioned Sugar Ray and Hagler for a very specific reason. Hagler was a natural middleweight. Ray Leonard was a welterweight. And in the move up, some people thought Hagler's power is going to overtake Ray Leonard. But Ray was so skilled and so perfect in his ability to recover from damage, also to absorb damage. Ray was a pest. And if you're going to compare somebody, people want to compare him to Mayweather, but my thing is, I think more along the lines of Ray Leonard and his ability to defend. And then Bud is a sniper. He is a full-on sniper in that when he attacks, he's purposeful in capturing a moment. Now, Canelo is he's a savage, very skilled, extremely tough, high IQ boxer. But can you, as I say, you want to be able to capture what you can eat. And I'm not sure that Bud plays into Canelo's game. We don't know what his game plan is going to be. Like, we don't know. Am I going to press Bud and just think I can out muscle him? But I don't think that he'll actually be able to.
Bud is so strategic with everything he does. And he's one thing I've noticed just from watching him with my amateur eye is the patience of Terrence Crawford. That is what wins him, because he'll let you sit there and get tired in the early rounds, and then in the later rounds, that's when Bud makes his A.
But I'm not sure that works against Canelo.
And that's what I was going to ask you.
I'm not sure that works, but
is the avenue.
But that may be the thing that works. The word is that Bud's cardio conditioning for this is insane. But also that he's made Canelo get better. That this may be Canelo's best camp in a minute.
Yeah.
And to see what, like, people want to compare to Mayweather, Canelo, and both are appropriate and not true at the same time. It can contain both things.
Okay.
Because we don't know. Leonard Duran won was Leonard making a decision because he thought he let his ego get involved and say that I need to sit here and slug it out with Duran. That didn't work so well. Leonard Duran 2, different deal. That's the Nomos fight where, quite frankly, Ray said, no, I'm going to beat Sugar Ray Leonard. I'm the best boxer on the planet. So I'm going to show you all the skills. I'm going to give you the full artillery. And that's what can happen here. Unfortunately, we don't know what either's game plan is. It would be nice to have it follow a playbook, but that's the beauty of super fights. They rarely follow the playbook. They rarely, like, if we tried to imagine Evander Holyfield and George Foreman, it would not go the way the fight actually went. Like, Evander was undersized against Foreman, and he thought, okay, can I wear him out? What to do? It just looks different. So think Tyson versus Holmes. Think that sometimes size matters, sometimes it doesn't. We just don't know what either of these folks are going to do on a Saturday night in Vegas. That's the beauty of Vegas. It's one night, you shoot your shot, whatever way it comes out. It's two elite fighters getting together and putting on a show.
And that's what I wanted to kind of get into, because both, correct me if I'm wrong, both guys are undefeated. I know Bud is. Canelo's undefeated as well. One of these guys is gonna lose and get their first mark of their career. Does that change anything for the history books?
Well, it rarely does. We think of Roberto Duran as we think of Roberto Duran. We think of Sugar Ray Leonard. We think of Marvin Hagler. Hagler, best middleweight champion of all time. That doesn't change because he took a super fight and didn't get the judges nod. The whole triangle of Leonard, Duran, Hearns, those three all took on each other and all built on each other's legacy. I'm not sure that you can think less of either. I think what happens is you can think more of both. One, for taking the fight. For taking the fight. That's the lane that I would be in, is that I'm going to give them both credit for taking the fight. Yeah. I kind of wish it was 5 years ago, but we don't control that. So this version of it, neither of us, if either fighter said after this thing that they were walking away, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
So, or if they said, hey, this is part of the trilogy, welcome, buckle in, and we'll see you 2 more times. That could be said as well, because these are legacy and these are financial trust.
Well, yeah.
So sure.
Because that's the other part, is how much of it is you take this fight for the money, or you take it for the competitive side of things.
You want to know, you want to measure yourself.
Okay.
You want to measure yourself. And I mean, the money's good. The money's good. The money's in play. But Bud's the best boxer out of Nebraska. He's probably the best, maybe one of the best athletes ever from Nebraska. That doesn't change either way. If he wins, we're probably having a different conversation.
Yeah.
But he could lose and do it epically, and we could still say, okay, he's officially the best. Canelo, it's the same deal within his circle. This is epic. This is iconic. And so what he gets from it, same rules apply, that he's either going to be the best or still one of the best, no matter what. No matter what. I mean, boxing kind of allows that. So, I don't think either of them takes a step down. I think that both can kind of stamp themselves in the GOAT conversation.
A couple things from the text line, 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline. The Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys. Jordan P. on the text line says, it's a win-win for Bud. Shows that he fears no man. He isn't ducking anybody based on his size or anything. Nobody else but Bud's size. No, excuse me. Nobody else Bud's size takes this fight. And if Canelo loses, he loses to the pound-for-pound champ.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, again, boxing fans can go back in history and point out guys like Macho Camacho. There are guys who moved up weight classes, Wilfredo Benitez. It happened. And you get used to seeing people usually jump 1 or 2 weight classes to be able to pull this thing through. Again, Ray came into as a pro at 147. He fought Hagler at middleweight. And then leaned into light heavyweight with the Donnie Lalondes and that sort of deal. And so it made sense, right? It made sense. And then it just got to the point where he was, age took over. And I think that's the part when I said, I wish this has happened a few years ago, but I will take it now. I would gladly take it now. Either way.
Yeah. So I was reading an article earlier this morning regarding this, and it talked about how it's September 13 is Mexican Independence, Mexican Independence Day. And now that's been a day that's become synonymous with the top fighter from Mexico fighting as well. And so there's a lot of really interesting storylines that surround the fight. And the undercard is okay, is a good one with guys like Vargas fighting right before Crawford as well. But let me ask you this question that has nothing to do with the fights. Are you concerned at all about the infrastructure of Netflix being able to handle it?
Of course.
After what happened on the previous fights.
Of course. But that's part of the deal. And that but that's happening. That's a UFC thing, that's a WWE thing. That's a big movie thing. Like that's just the way it works. And Netflix has had a large infusion of cash and resource to push this stuff through. So again, if you tell me that the bandwidth issue has been handled, yes. Part B is that partnering with the UFC certainly doesn't hurt.
Yeah.
And that Dana White being a part of the promotion for this thing, so much so, you talked about it's Noche. It's the Noche Saturday, and UFC normally goes later. UFC is going to start its main event from San Antonio. It's UFC Noche, which is where I'll be.
Yeah.
They're starting the card at 2:00.
Oh.
And the main card at 5, so that it's done by 8:00 or 9:00 or whatever they think it's going to be. So I'll be, graciously getting out of the building,
onto the next,
getting out of the Frostbank Arena at a relatively decent hour instead of that 2:30 in the morning that normally happens.
Yeah.
After that, so we don't know. It is the Warrior Weekend.
Wow. I mean, that's from a marketing standpoint, that is brilliant. I mean, and they truly thought about it.
Yeah, and the fighters on that card certainly match up to that. There'll be several jets going from San Antonio to Vegas immediately following the UFC, and appropriately so. So it's a big weekend. Yes, Netflix. It's a big weekend for Netflix because if it can handle the work, I mean, this is a double shift for them.
Yeah.
But there's been an infusion of cash and resource into this thing. So if it works, it works. If it doesn't, somebody will get fired off of it.
We got this statement from Money G in Kansas on the text line. He says pay-per-view has hurt the sport of boxing as far as the general fan base. Would you agree with that?
Okay. We are in it's cyclical in that it's necessary for the business to evolve. So it happened I'm of age that I watched Muhammad Ali fight on ABC on Saturday afternoon or Sunday afternoon. And then the explosion of ESPN and then the implosion of the fight game because of it, that you saw everybody, you were familiar with everybody. Now they've just gone to the super fight business rather than the constant flow and building and development of talent and relationships. We haven't had a Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Dooku Kim sort of situation where you got to know them, these folks from Youngstown, Ohio, right? So you go to Youngstown, Ohio, CBS goes to Youngstown, they tape all of the locals, and then they provide it to America, and folks get to fool in. The big money aspect of it, if you wanted the fighters to make more, you had to charge more. But the problem is the people at the top make more, but the people at the bottom make less, and a lot less, because you're scrounging for money.
Yeah.
Well, pay-per-view, just like in UFC, same thing applies. Well, they went big. Remember, they were all pay-per-views. They have all these tiny cards and then these huge pay-per-views. They've now partnered to get more eyes to the screen, which ultimately will mean more money.
Yeah.
It's how you're going to get your money. You can either pay me now, or you can pay me later. What Savannah Bananas, as an example, was saying, I'd rather have a billion fans than $1 billion. That thinking is the new evolution of sports business. UFC's figured it out. WWE's figured it out. Boxing now to the table, which is how UFC, Titan, and all those folks become a part of this fight card.
Yeah, that was something that came out back in August. I mean, just a couple of weeks ago, where $7.7 billion. It's you feel like the sport is in a pretty good spot, marketing wise, viewership wise, for $7.7 billion.
It's top heavy.
Yeah,
it's top heavy for sure, because you cannot name the top 5 fighters in each weight class. That doesn't exist anymore. It happens in the UFC.
Yeah.
Right. Because again, they put more content in the pool. Right. There are more fight events. There's one fight card of note in the UFC each week. You don't know how many fight cards there are across the country each week. You don't know the fighters. You don't know the people. Again, the people here in Nebraska should probably run down to the complex so they can get to know right, the upcoming. But that's how you miss the Drew Dobers and Anthony Smiths in the UFC, is because they're fighting in dojos in dark rooms until Dana comes in to find them and brings them to the spotlight.
Yeah.
And then they start to make money after they prove that, with the next 5 fights, you get to know you. 5 fights to get to know you. Let's see whether people care about watching you fight.
Yeah.
Do you put on a good show? Boxing has the same problem. Boxers haven't gone away. A lot of them have simply slid over to MMA because there are more opportunities for them to do well. More opportunities for them to be seen. We don't know. Shout out to Clyde Johnson for putting himself out there.
100%.
Right? But we don't know the 15 fighters. We may know 3 here. That's boxing. That's where we are. UFC, MMA, more of the names because they do a better job of marketing that sort of stuff.
It's going to be a fascinating week. Make sure you tune in tomorrow at 11 a.m. Anthony Smith will be here, and obviously he's one of the best to talk about it right now, with the big fights and everything coming up this weekend.
And he's trained with Bud, and he's told some stories off air about his time with Bud. But yeah, Anthony is on the ESPN talent group this weekend, so he'll be at the big desk in San Antonio. He and I were both like, are we going to Bud? And we were like, no, we're going to be in San Antonio.
There you go.
So much for that.
Eric says, I still remember the days of the Tyson in pay-per-view. The anticipation was only matched by the utter disappointment of it being over in 30 seconds.
Yeah, I watched Tyson Spinks at the Cap Center in DC. You had to pay and it was a sold-out arena. The fight wasn't there. They put it on the big screens at Cap Center.
And they sold tickets to the arena.
That was how the get down was back in the day. Jeez. Again, I'm old enough to remember that you had to go for Ali Frazier pay-per-views in select venues around the country. And they made a ton of money. In my bar days, I knew back in those days that pay-per-views was money, but you had to pay a substantial amount of money to get access to the fight.
Sure.
But then I would have 500 people paying $10 a pop to come in and watch the thing, and then you get money in beer and otherwise.
Absolutely.
But yeah, it's evolving
100%.
The bars would be grateful and appreciative of Netflix and the fact that that they're offering these fights.
Yeah, 100%. That's it for DP. DP's going to get out of here, go and do some teammates' responsibilities there. We'll be back when we come back. Let's dive into the Vikings-Bears last night. Ben Johnson's first game, JJ McCarthy's first game at quarterback. Another comeback, not necessarily maybe as dramatic as the Bills the night before, but another comeback there. AD will join us in just a few minutes as well, as he's wrapped up another speaking engagement out in Norfolk. And we'll dive into all Husker stuff in the 10 o'clock hour. It is The Drive, sponsored by our friends at Doors Plus here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Stay tuned. We'll be right back here on The Ticket. Bagels & Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels & Joe.
This is your year where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Are your feet just killing you and you feel like all hope is lost? Say goodbye to discomfort and hello to pain relief at Brown's Shoe Fit. They offer expert advice along with high-quality products to help you find the right solution tailored to your specific needs. Need a different width? Not a problem. Brown's carries a wide range of widths in store. Brown's Shoe Fit on 66th and Q in Lincoln.
Football game days are fun for the whole family, but not every child is ready for 4 quarters in the stadium. That's why the Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates for kids ages 5 to 12. While you enjoy the game, your kids enjoy their own adventure at the museum, conveniently located just steps from the stadium. Registration required. And the fun isn't just on game days. The museum is open 6 days a week with 3 floors of hands-on play and activities. Out-of-town families, make the most of your weekend in Lincoln. Visit LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms early this morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds throughout the day. The high around 83. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds. Below around 62. Then tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. An afternoon high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at LOVBNEB.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska Insider today.
Oh, Kansas.
Here we go. Second half today.
You just don't stop giving, do you?
Green flag, we're underway.
The closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. Close to downtown, amazing campgrounds. 3 NASCAR races in one weekend, and it's the playoffs.
You guys can't drive.
Now you're just showing off. But we're not mad. In fact, we're looking forward to it. NASCAR Playoffs Weekend at Kansas Speedway, September 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets now at kansasspeedway.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 14th, enjoy 10-ounce USDA Choice Top Sirloins for $7.99 each. All natural 5-ounce pork ribeye chops, 5 for $5. All natural pork belly, $3.99 per pound, and Busch Light 30 packs for just $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Acres Fall John Deere Super Sale event is underway. Our complete inventory of John Deere equipment is marked down to sell. From large ag equipment to compact tractors and gators, Acres has something for everyone. And don't miss our State Fair Harvest Days parts and merchandise sale in Grand Island. Special in-store discounts and incentives are available. Visit our Grand Island location at 4050 West Stawley Park Road and see what Acres has to offer. Visit acres.com for all the details. Offer ends September 13th, 2025.
Are you tired of asking what's for dinner? At Nourished, they prepare fresh, chef-crafted meals made ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy gourmet flavor every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Whether it's a family dinner or a quick lunch, Nourished has done the work so you don't have to. Visit nourishedforlife.co and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. That's Nourished, delicious made simple.
Ticket listeners know a dream team when they see one. At Applied Connective, we've been in the game for 20 years and have developed a team of world-class leaders in all things IT. From cybersecurity and Microsoft products to physical security, audio-video, infrastructure, business phone systems, and anything in between. We'll help you leverage technology to become your most secure, efficient, and profitable. Head to our website to check out real reviews and testimonials and sign up for a free tech consultation. We can show you where you might be vulnerable, inefficient, or overspending. It's a game changer, and it's totally free. Claim yours right now at appliedconnective.com.
When the clock strikes zero after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party Postgame Show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game, win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches, too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 14th, enjoy 10-ounce USDA Choice Top Sirloins for $7.99 each. All natural 5-ounce pork ribeye chops, 5 for $5. All natural pork belly, $3.99 per pound, and Busch Light 30 packs for just $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into The Drive. This is 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert with you. AD will join us in just a few moments. Before we dive into the football conversation, are you planning a trip to Memorial Stadium for a Husker game? Football games can be fun for the whole family, but sometimes younger children can't sit through the whole game. So what should you do? The Lincoln Children's Museum offers game day play dates. While the parents enjoy the game inside the stadium, their kids can get their own game day experience from our friends at the Lincoln Children's Museum. Drop-off is 90 minutes before the game. You can pick up your child up to 60 minutes following the game. And while you're cheering on the Huskers at the stadium, the kids can enjoy fun activities involving science, technology, engineering, arts, and math, all centered around football and getting active. It's affordable, convenient, and just steps away from Memorial Stadium. If you're interested You must register your child online prior to game day at LincolnChildren'sMuseum.org. Once again, the Akron game, it was sold out. So make sure you get in early this Saturday for Houston Christian, which I will say this before we really get into the nitty-gritty part of it. Thank goodness this is one of the few Saturdays where I'm actually thrilled. It's an 11 a.m. kickoff. Here's the deal. DP and I just got done breaking down the Canelo Crawford fight. DP is going to be in San Antonio for other UFC fights that are going on in the world of UFC and MMA and those types of things. And with an 11 a.m. kickoff, there's a couple of good college football games. But for the most part, I think there's going to be a lot of Husker fans that are going to say, okay, you know what? Nebraska football took care of business against Houston Christian. That's good. Step in the right direction. Whether it's a 68-0 victory again like it was against Akron, whatever. But Nebraska took care of business against Houston Christian. And then let's turn our attention to the Bud Crawford fight, if you could stay up that late for it. I just think it's going to be a really good Saturday. And we all know it's starting to lead up to the Michigan game. And I don't know about you guys. There's not a concern for me this week that Nebraska overlooks Houston Christian. I just don't know if Nebraska's at that point yet. I think that they kind of have the realization and understanding that they are in no spot or position to ever overlook an opponent. And I put the video that was released aside. I say leaked yesterday. Put that video aside. And at the end of the day, like, I just don't feel like Nebraska is in a spot to where they feel like they could overlook opponents. And people are going to text it on the text line, 402-464-5685. They're going to say, Nick, come on. They've had some bad years the last couple of seasons. They haven't won games. They lost to Georgia Southern. They've had some closer finishes against teams like Northern Illinois, going back to McNeese all the way back in 2014. Like, Nick, come on. There's no way. Well, there's been some times where Nebraska's gotten a little dicey. And so for that, I say that because that's something we haven't been able to count on. And I think that this Saturday, forget the opponents. Just Nebraska playing an opponent that's, I will say it, inferior to them, whether that's Akron or whether that it would be a Northern Illinois or whether that would be a Houston Christian like it is this Saturday. I feel like Nebraska is in this spot as a program where they've started to take the step forward to where they don't care about the jersey. They don't care who they are playing against. And that's something that we've been, I think, clamoring for Nebraska to get to for so long, right? Is this idea that, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, you hope that Nebraska just goes out there and takes care of business on their own right, rather than worrying about what the opponent does. And that's where, like, I think that's what I was so impressed, and not even impressed, I guess, pleased with what Nebraska did against Akron on Saturday, because I sat there and I said, this was an all Nebraska performance. Whether it was Akron or Houston Christian, and I was right up there along with everybody else saying, hey, we have to take this with a grain of salt. We have to be realistic with it. If you listen to us enough, you're going to know that I'm going to sit here and I'm going to be like, I'm not Debbie Downer by any means, but I'm going to try to tell it how it is. And I think I sat there, and what I was most pleased with, not impressed because maybe it's expected, but what I was most pleased with is that Nebraska sat there and they beat Akron because of things Nebraska did. They didn't beat a team on Saturday, and same thing against Cincinnati. They beat Cincinnati because of what Nebraska did. And in these last couple of years, and going back to previous regimes, it's felt so often like Nebraska's beaten teams the few times that they have beaten teams, maybe in part because of what Nebraska did, but because of mistakes that other teams committed. And that was what was most, I think, pleasing for me from Saturday. And that's why I kept kind of leaning into I want to see the execution of it. I want to see Dylan Raiola be able to manage this offense the same way he does when Nebraska's up by 7 in a tight game against a Power 4 opponent, the same way he would last Saturday when Nebraska was up 33-0 coming out of the locker room at halftime. That's the type of stuff I wanted to see. Maybe there were a few more penalties on Saturday, 6 penalties. 4 of those came on the defense. I think 3 of them came on the drive right before half, where Akron actually had a field goal opportunity and then doinked it off the left upright. just things like that. Sure, right? If we're sitting there saying, okay, Nebraska, they allowed a field goal opportunity, and maybe by the grace of God, it doinked off the upright, and Nebraska was able to hold the shutout that way, then great, right? I also look at it as, remember the last couple of years when Nebraska's offense was abysmal? I mean, I'm talking like 2023 would have been year one of Matt Rule. And time again, Nebraska's offense, it was some bizarre statistic to where, and don't quote me on it because I'm not going to get it exactly right, but it was some bizarre statistic where Nebraska's offense would force their defense to basically have only 60 yards to defend. The opponent's average starting field position for that year was like on their own 38-yard line, which is, I mean, absurd. And Nebraska's defense just time and time again was like, no, we're going to bend and we're going to bend and we're going to bend, but we never break. And it was kind of when you truly go back, and if we did a case study on that 2023 season where Jeff Sims was the quarterback and then Heinrich Haarberg for a time, if we did a case study on that, I think it would truly be phenomenal to see the results and see what that defense did. So now, hopefully, Nebraska's kind of making these strides in the correct direction to where it's not as reliant on your defense as it has been in the past. I think we get infatuated with being a defense first team, or like a black shirts mentality, or conversely, a team that wants to score points and can at will whenever they want to against any opponent. But I think it's also okay. It's important to be consistent and say, okay, you know what? We're going to rely on our defense more so game in and game out, maybe than we will on our offense, or maybe in this year in 2025. And we're going to say, hey, the offense needs to play increasingly better week after week. I think it's fine to say either one of those. And I think it's okay that in 2025 through 2 games, we might not have that answer yet of which unit is going to be relied upon more. And 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, the Starter Heyman text line. Feel free to reach out and let me know if you feel like we do know which side of the ball we're going to lean on more. But if in my amateur opinion, if the offense, the defense, and the special teams are all working in sync, heading the same direction, isn't that what we've been clamoring for the last decade? I think so. And we've gone through some real big growing pains. You talk about the offensive line. That's an area that we talk a lot about the players on the offensive line, and rightfully so. But I think at times we forget that Donovan Raiola's been here for a good chunk of time now. And as much as we sit there and say, okay, it's time for us to see results from a guy like Turner Corcoran, and it's time for us to see results from a guy like Justin Evans, who's been waiting his turn, and Henry Lutovsky, and they go out and identify guys in like Rocco Spindler. Obviously, Elijah Pritchett has not worked out nearly to what they expected or hoped for. But this is a big time for Donovan Raiola also to show out. Like, this is now, if I off the top of my head, year 5 for Donovan Raiola. This is time for results. I tell AD all the time, and we'll dive into this later in the show. I tell AD this all the time. At some point, the time has to be now. And I think that Nebraska football in 2023, with the schedule that they have and with what they have around them, what they have around Dylan Raiola, their quote-unquote franchise quarterback, if this was an NFL-run organization, I think we'd be sitting there saying that the time is now. And that's not me saying, okay, heads on stakes. If Nebraska doesn't win X amount of games, everybody needs to be fired and we need to clear house. But then we need to really have some conversations about the ability to identify talent. But to this point, Nebraska, and I give Matt Rule and staff credit here, through the transfer portal, a big chunk of the guys that they've brought in over the offseason have certainly been identified and now are being key integral parts. I mean, let's go through this here. Just a couple of them. We know about Elijah Pritchett, right? But let's say, hypothetically speaking, Elijah Pritchett was playing significant time for Nebraska, like maybe we expected him to. Okay, hit. Dane Key, successful hit rate. And Isaiah Hunter, absolutely, right? The Hardly Gilmore situation, there was some internal stuff and moved on from the team because of Hardly Gilmore, so I don't put that on the staff necessarily. But one that maybe we're not talking about enough is on the defensive side of the ball, and Andrew Marshall. the defensive back from Idaho. That's a guy that's come in and opposite of Sierra Wright in a defense where they needed to get a little taller. They needed to get a little more physical. Andrew Marshall has stepped up big time. The transfer from Idaho moves up a caliber of football as well from the FCS level and comes from the Idaho Vandals to Nebraska, and the lights aren't too bright. Those are the things, because Nebraska, they're not going to be able to contend, or maybe they're going to choose not to contend for the biggest spending or biggest money clients, athletes, if you will. And that's fine. There's been a lot of teams. There's a lot of situations to where through the portal, coaches and staffs have identified the lower level guys that can take a step up, and the lights aren't going to be too bright, and they're still going to make plays on Saturdays because that's what they're just football players. But ultimately, if you go whichever route you go, whether it's the more conservative option and saying, okay, we're going to develop these guys from lower level football and get them ready to play on Saturdays in the Power 4 conferences, or if it's going to, hey, you know what, we're going to open up the pocketbooks, it goes back to one key thing. And this is how you become an extraordinary program: the ability to identify talent. You cannot miss, especially at the quarterback position. We're seeing here, this is going to make Husker fans happy as we go to break. We're seeing Colorado might have misidentified in the years post Shedeur Sanders. They might have misidentified. They go out to Liberty. They bring in a really good at Liberty quarterback in Caden Salter. They also brought in 5-star quarterback Julian Lewis. And then they brought in another quarterback as well. And guess what? They started Caden Salter, benched him. They started Julian Lewis, benched him. Third game of the season, and they're starting their third starting quarterback. Their third string quarterback that came in late last week against Delaware and played well. Thank the Lord, thank the heavens that Nebraska's not in that situation. We lived it in 2023. A year ago yesterday, 2 years ago yesterday, you know where Nebraska was? They were at Colorado in Deion Sanders' first year in a game where the quarterback lost them the football game. Here, Nebraska just last weekend came off of a 68-0 victory. Things are getting better. There's still a long way to go. And this is without the video. This is without the leaked halftime speech. This is without everything else. It's that one thing we wanted to see Saturday and against these teams, and we'll see it again this Saturday: the execution, the margin for error, the discipline, whether you're up by a touchdown or a field goal against a Power 4 opponent, or you're up by 33 points at halftime. How do you respond to those situations that you're not necessarily accustomed or used to be in it? We'll see. When we come back, once again, the show is sponsored by our friends at Doors Plus. You can always text or call the show, 402-464-5685. The Honda of Lincoln hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you the entire show today. When we come back, AD Aaron Davis joins us from Norfolk. He'll be on the line here in just a few minutes. We'll step aside, round out the 9 a.m. hour when we return here on The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At Fairway Meat Market, your family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now through September 14th, enjoy 10-ounce USDA choice top sirloins for $7.99 each. All natural 5-ounce pork ribeye chops, 5 for $5. All natural pork belly, $3.99 per pound, and Busch Light 30 packs for just $18.99. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Are you tired of asking what's for dinner? At Nourished, they prepare fresh, chef-crafted meals made ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy gourmet flavor every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Whether it's a family dinner or a quick lunch, Nourished has done the work so you don't have to. Visit nourishedforlife.co and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. That's Nourished, delicious made simple.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Comfort food, but make it vegan. At Rutabagas, they're serving all your crave-worthy classics. Mac and cheese, loaded nachos, Philly cheesesteaks, all 100% plant-powered and 100% delicious. Catch them at their cozy spot at 70th and Vine, or find their food truck rolling through the streets of Lincoln. So whether you're vegan, veg curious, or just hungry for comfort food with a twist, Rutabagas has a plate waiting for you. Find them on Instagram for their food truck location and specials. Rutabagas, where comfort meets compassion.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Feeling off lately? Struggling with your mental well-being can make everyday life harder, and it can also increase the risk of substance use. Early support can make a big difference. Visit myhealthymind.crediblemmind.com and take the free mental health check-in assessment. In just a few minutes, you'll get non-judgmental feedback, local resources, and next steps to help you feel more in control and supported. This message is funded in part by the CDC OD2A grant.
Bagels and Joe is the best place to start off your mornings, and you can order your breakfast ahead of time on their app. You can't go wrong with one of their great bagel sandwiches or breakfast burritos. Stop by any of their 4 locations in Lincoln and their location in Seward. Bagels and Joe.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
M. Suits Clothiers, Lincoln's favorite men's store. Family owned and operated, located 1 block south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. Go bold this summer and fall with endless possibilities. Stop in now for the best selection on sweaters, outerwear, suits, sport coats, dress pants, and dress shirts. M. Suits Clothiers, your menswear store.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740.
93.7 The Ticket is your home for every Kansas City Royals baseball game. Bobby Witt Jr., Salvador Perez, Vinny Pasquantino, and the rest of the Royals attempt to make the postseason for the 2nd season in a row. And you can hear all the action on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Your home for Kansas City Royals baseball. Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What is up? We are back here as we round out the 9 o'clock hour. It's The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. You've heard enough of me the last segment. Let's go ahead and bring in my co-host, Aaron Davis, from beautiful, luxurious Norfolk, Nebraska. AD, good morning, my friend. How's it going?
It's going great, brother. How you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing swell. It's the weather is beautiful. We keep getting teased that fall weather, like the 60s and the 50-degree weather is coming, and it's right around the corner. And then the weather channel's like, psych, it's 88 degrees this week. So have that.
I read this morning just about the weather there in Lincoln, how it's going to get balmy again. What, 80s, give or take?
Yeah,
something like that. Yeah.
It's not even hot. I'm a wuss. I mean, here we are. It's not even warm. It's fine.
What's the temperature sitting right now in Lincoln?
I couldn't tell you. I was thinking about this on the way into work today.
Mhm.
I pulled out of my garage, and I've realized just how oblivious I am to what's going on around me in the world, to where I don't know if it's supposed to rain at all this week. That doesn't change the clothes I wear. I wear shorts and a t-shirt no matter what. I'll wear polos no matter what. I realized, like, I saw the ground was wet, and I was like, I wonder if that rained this morning or if it would rain overnight. I really have no clue. I am so oblivious to just everything that's going on around me, which is probably a giant red flag in the Nick department.
Here in Norfolk, I don't know. I don't have it on my phone. I just have Lincoln, so I haven't checked. But it was a little overcast. It's still a little overcast now. I mean, it's like the sun is breaking out a little bit, but it's a very, very comfortable. I would say probably 70.
How about this?
Here.
It's 66 degrees in Lincoln. That's beautiful. It's a perfect day for AD.
What's that?
It's a perfect day to walk across the street in Norfolk, Nebraska, and play some putt-putt.
Well, only thing outside my window is a parking lot.
Up there.
Hey, Nick, I got to tell you, the breakfast this morning was off the chains, man. Off the chains. And I probably overdid it a little bit.
Really?
I was, up early, all that good stuff, whatever. But I went downstairs and I had 4 sausage patties.
Okay.
I had 4 strips of bacon.
Yep.
And I had a heaping filling of eggs with some cheese and bacon bits spread on top of it.
Jeez, look at you.
2 cups of coffee, cranberry juice. I did the cranberry juice, the apple juice, little combination. And I'm glad my talk wasn't until 8 because I ate about 6 because the brother was belching and everything else, man.
I was curious, have you met your breakfast again yet? That hotel sausage sometimes just
Hey Nick, this may be FEC borderline, but I was like, see you later.
You said, Nick, I can't join at 9:30. I got some business to handle. I thought you were speaking business.
Hey Nick, remember that sausage I told you about at breakfast? Yeah.
Yeah. Underneath my hotel in the in the sewer lines right now. Anyway, hey, look, AD, we have a lot to get into in the 10 o'clock hour. It's a quick turnaround. I was wondering real quickly, did you see that Colorado is on their 3rd starting quarterback already?
I tell you, man, they have an identity crisis. Obviously, they won their game last week against a team they should have beat. I get that, and it's no different for us. But there is some serious uneasiness at Colorado in trying to find who is going to be at the helm because they're going through quarterbacks like crazy. I don't know what they do there, to be honest. Obviously Shador and the young brother. Oh, my name went blank.
Travis
Hunter. Yeah, Travis Hunter. Those guys covered a multitude of deficiencies in Colorado last year, and a lot of guys that came with them. But now I'm not saying you're exposed, but it's showing you that, who's supposed to be that person in the fold. And the guy from Liberty, who they thought was going to be that guy in the hold, is not that guy. You're not. It's like that meme. You're not that guy. You're not that guy. So he's not that guy. Nick, I don't know what they do in Colorado, man. They have some issues to get handled. And when conference play kicks in, as I know, the Big 12, they'll be exposed, man. They will be exposed.
Which, speaking of the Big 12 conference, I just read 15 seconds before we came back on the air, so I didn't get to dive deep into it, that they had an officiating crew in the Kansas-Missouri game that basically did not follow the rules. There was something about a free kick and a punt that they allowed to have happen when they shouldn't have, and they are not on assignment this week. They got taken off of assignment for this upcoming week. The Big 12 conference reprimanded the officiating crew that was on Kansas-Missouri last week, which I would imagine would have been one of their better crews. I would imagine that would have been, because that's a pretty big time game. You would want to send some of your better officials out there they didn't follow the rules on something. I got to dive a little deeper into it when we were in commercial break. But they said that according to a rule book, they did not follow the rules as they should have. And so they've been removed from their assignment for this upcoming week.
Nick, and I have no problem with that. If coaches can get reprimanded for something they say in the presser, as well as players, but in particular, coaches, if you don't hold your refs to a standard, that they can dictate outcomes of games. I mean, you both know, Nick, these games are worth a lot, not just in the wins and losses, but, from a financial aspect, so I have no problems with them being held accountable. It might be time for us to get Jay Gates back on the air with us and talk about some of these. He's taking the year off so he can watch his son Jax play at Air Force. He's at the Air Force Academy, but Jay is always open and willing to come in. Obviously, he's very astute. Obviously, he is a referee. He knows the rules. So it would be good to hear his perspective on, what I would say, Nick, what do they have to do to get active again after they've been reprimanded? So I'd be curious about the back end of that. He knows that like the palm of his hand, because like I said, he has to study that stuff. So yeah, I'm glad the Big 12 made that move, man. I mean, those games are too consequential to have mistakes like that not be held accountable.
Yeah, 100%. AD, we got asked on the text line how the parking lot greens are rolling. What are they rolling today? On the text line.
I tell you, it was Money G, what's up, man? Jay, what I did, bro, I didn't even bring my clubs with me. I did not bring them with me. Yeah, no temptation. My neighbor Eric Fuentes, God bless him. That was before I got clearance to even lift 25 pounds. And I don't know if my golf bag is 25 pounds or not, but I didn't take any chances. So I don't even have them. And Nick, I'll just show you real quick, man. The parking lot, I have no temptations whatsoever.
What is that across the street? What's that little facility?
That's a Perkins.
Oh, nice.
That's a Perkins right out there. And I don't have my glasses on, but I believe that's Omaha Avenue, that the main one that goes east to west. I think that is. I don't have my glasses to even tell, but I believe that is.
Wow.
But yeah, no clubs. Didn't take the chance. The weight room here is fantastic. It's a nice place, man. But yeah, but I have to go by the golf place when I go speak at the facility in the mornings. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
It's not too bad. Which, speaking of putt courses, I highly recommend anybody that travels to. I know Arizona has one. I don't know where else has one. Tiger Woods has created some of those putt courses, and they are legit. I played it in Scottsdale when I went a couple of years ago, and I mean, you get in the bunker and you got to putt out of the bunker. It's a tough spot, but it's a really cool place. Highly recommend it. All right, we're late. Let's get to the 10 o'clock hour. The drive when we come back.
Are you looking to upgrade or improve the garage door on your home? This is Cameron Hall of Doors Plus. At Doors Plus, we guarantee to offer a wide selection of options from 5 leading garage door manufacturers as we deliver a free estimate, exact measurements, and rapid installation with a 3 to 5 week time frame. When you choose Doors Plus for your residential garage door needs, you'll work with our experienced technicians and be ensured that your new door seamlessly complements your home. Give us a call at 402-590-5800 or visit us online at DoorsPlusLLC.com. Doors Plus, garage doors, and more.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Make your next event unforgettable with Grazing Gouda, your local artists and experts in charcuterie and grazed tables. From boardrooms to ballrooms, they turn gatherings into experiences with stunning spreads of artesian cheeses, cured meats, fresh fruits, and gourmet bites. Perfect for corporate luncheons, weddings, parties, or any celebration that deserves a wow moment. They handle the details. You take the compliments. Book your graze table today at GrazingGouda.com. Grazing Gouda, because every event deserves to be savored.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Sartor Heyman Jewelers is celebrating 120 years as Lincoln's top choice for fine jewelry. Join us for our anniversary sale going on now through September 14th. Enjoy an exclusive 20 to 75% savings on dazzling diamond jewelry, exquisite rings, and luxury watches. This once-a-year event is our way of saying thank you to a community that has supported us over a century. Come enjoy our lowest prices of the year and celebrate this milestone with us now through September 14th at Sartor Heyman Jewelers.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs have been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloffs.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms early this morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds throughout the day. The high around 83. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds. The low around 62. Then tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. An acting high at 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fletcher for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with Taco Night on Mondays or Whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Welcome to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainert. Former football national champion, speaker, and author Aaron Davis.
Pain is a teacher if you use it. And the lessons in the carnage of pain sometimes are elusive. They hide, they're stealth. The work is finding the lessons through the pain. There's always a message in the mess. Depends on if we want to get dirty and look for it.
Nick Sainert. Driving left side is Boyer, picks up his dribble, looking for some help, decides to go up strong with it, and the layup will rattle home. Jack Riley picks the pocket of BJ Bradford up the floor to Jack Hostrider. Watch out! Lafisi in the lane, kicks it out. 3-ball, Townsley, right wing, it's good!
Sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the show, The Drive 93.7, The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Aaron Davis, AD coming at us from Norfolk, Nebraska for another 2 days. Today, tomorrow, Thursday. Good stuff from AD. Appreciate him as always. All right, AD, how about this? We got to start out the top of the hour with this text that we got. How about this? Thanks for the Colorado update. I was stunned. I thought it was sarcasm to start. Thanks for the Colorado update. I'm a Colorado native, but with both parents from Nebraska, I've always been a Husker fan, rightfully so. I'm as oblivious to CU football as Nick is to the weather. I appreciate that. I was not trying to provide. I don't think we were trying to provide a Colorado update, but I was more stunned that somebody was actually appreciative of it on the text line, AD.
Yeah, I'll tell you, man, Deion, I'm a big fan of Deion. I know he's polarizing to some, but as a kid growing up and watching Deion do his thing, the other stuff what people may not like or whatever, how outspoken he is. But I tell you what, I think you talk about a program that was literally had conversations about not even having a football program anymore as far as that goes. And the reason why I respect Colorado, now their fans are another story at times, as far as that goes. I mean, it's not the most cordial fans. That's an understatement right there. But Colorado's got championships. Like I said, that's why even a lot of people don't like Texas and Nebraska. I have no problem with Texas because you got championships. And Nick, you know this story with me. If you don't have any championships, don't come to the table like you can talk from a point of reference because you don't have none. That's why that school to the east of us, whatever. I don't have to say their name. But with Colorado, like I said, Nick, they've got some issues they got to deal with. It's like Coach Osborne said after his, the halftime of the national championship game when we blew out Florida. They were asking Coach Osborne about Florida. He goes, well, that's their business. Yes. And with Colorado, I echo the great one, Coach Osborne. That's their business. I don't know what they do in Colorado. I'm more worried about TJ Lateef and Dylan Raiola and Jalen Graham-Stead.
You mentioned TJ Lateef. Let's hear what Matt Rule. Let's start right into it. Let's hear what Matt Rule had to say about Nebraska's backup quarterback.
I mean, I'll never forget putting Charlie Brewer in. We were getting our, I can't use the word, but you know what, kicked. And it was against Oklahoma State. And we were like, Charlie, all right, that's back when if you played him, I got fried for putting him in the game because you burned your red shirt, right? So Charlie, go in the game. And literally, I remember him putting his helmet on and he looks at Garrett McGuire and he's like, well, I'm never coming out, and went running in the game. Now he was out 3 series later, but that's the confidence he had. I'll never forget PJ. We put when we lost that game, I talked about that Fordham game. We were trying to get something going. We put him in, and he had a guy wide open. He threw a beautiful, just overthrew him. He catches that ball. The guy catches that ball. We probably don't lose that game, and PJ's probably the starter. It took me another 3 games. Well, TJ's not in that same situation, but I thought he exhibited the same confidence and the same I'm going to go do what I do, and at the same time still operated the offense. It wasn't like he was out there running around. He threw the ball on time. He missed the one sail route a little high. He made the right reads. He put the ball in guys' hands. He ran the football. He didn't reach the ball across the goal line. Just all these little details that you're looking for your quarterback to make good decisions, to protect the football and move the offense. I thought TJ showed all those things, and he just didn't look like a freshman to me.
Let's stop it there because he goes on and talks about how Dylan's leadership and other things can benefit that room. AD, it was a small sample size from TJ Lateef. But I think we can all agree that when we saw TJ Lateef on Saturday, it makes you excited for what Nebraska's quarterback room could look like going forward in the post-Dylan Raiola era. Now, we're always going to have people that come at us on the text line and say, oh, well, they got to keep him. They got to keep him on roster. And sure, that's a part of it, right? But ultimately, I talked about it in the 9:30 segment. The identification, the ability to identify talent is an integral part of being a successful football program. And hopefully Nebraska's found not one but 2 quarterbacks in Dylan and then obviously TJ Lateef.
Nick, Matt Rule mentioned in another article I was reading in a presser to where that was their first time seeing him live. Live. And again, know who they were playing, but live is still live. I think TJ showed a lot of moxie. He showed control. He showed composure. Obviously, the game was out of hand at that time, but at the same time, that's the whole purpose is to get him reps in a live environment. And I thought he controlled himself, held himself well. The running part of it was pretty smooth. Obviously, the dude's got some moves. He's got some shake, and he's still just a kid. That's a guy to where you look at him and the ceiling is very high for him. And to your point, I know that's always the fear in this new landscape of collegiate sports. Can we keep him? Well, we have him right now, and that's what I'm dialed in on is right now. And I'm going to say this, Nick, in a few days, it's going to be important for him to get more reps. Nebraska should not be slugging it out with Houston Christian. They're probably going to be less talented and less deep than Akron as far as that goes. So it's going to be imperative for us to get him some more reps in there along with the younger guys. But bringing it back to TJ, the kid looked smooth, man. He looked very smooth. Reminds me of another California native as a freshman, Steve Taylor, wowed the crowd, when he came in during that time. And so we don't know, obviously, the trajectory of what TJ Lateef's career is going to be. But we do know we got a glimpse of the potential that's there with him. So I thought he was very impressed, especially the way, like I said, he was very composed, showed a lot of moxie when he was out there.
I'm really interested in just overall. I mean, what I noticed on Saturday is the offense didn't really take a step down. Didn't take a notch, wasn't sent down a notch when TJ Lateef came in. Things were still smooth, and everybody talked about the run to the end zone. The play that fascinated me the most and impressed me the most from TJ Lateef was when he rolled out to the right and threw it on the run to, I believe it was Keelan Smith cutting across towards the far side of the field. That was the one that kind of impressed me the most. To the ability to maneuver the pocket. His mobility is certainly maybe a little bit better than Dylan's. I'll say that. The mobility piece of it, he's much smaller. I mean, I was in the when those two guys were warming up, and TJ Lateef is much smaller width-wise than Dylan Raiola is. And so the mobility is maybe a little bit better with TJ Lateef than it is with Dylan. But ultimately, the ability to then move and deliver the mail was impressive from TJ Lateef.
This is neither here or there with the game, but Cubsker, I saw that stat this morning, Cubsker, and what he's referring to, Swim, he's talking about how TJ Lateef already in that, the playing time that he had, he has, you check this out, he was 6 of 7 for 128 yards against Akron. He has more yards through the air than Iowa's Gronkowski does, 127 through 2 games. So talking about quarterback issues, that's going on in Colorado and Iowa. So like I said, that's their business. But at the same time, it's like Cubsker said, it's a fact. And he is a lot smaller. And the thing is going to be critical for him, in my opinion, as well. Obviously, get more time, get more reps this year. Hopefully a mop-up duty, not due because of injury. But also this offseason, Nick, will be big for him to put some more muscle on that frame of his, because he can definitely put up some more muscle, but he's only been here for, he hasn't been here very long, but it'll be critical for him to put some muscle on that frame, because as you know, you're going to take some hits in this conference.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And I think a lot of with Nebraska is it just with the quarterback room. It's going to be fascinating to see the evolution of the quarterback room to where you have it's TJ Lateef. It was the 2025 guy. We know Dayton Raiola's coming in the class of 2026. We know Trey Taylor's awaiting his turn in 2027. And we also know Nebraska's going after a quarterback in 2028. So they're operating under the mindset of they're going to bring in a high school guy every single year, battle it out, duel it out. Like you listen to the Husker volleyball freshman, and I'm blanking on her name, but I know
what you're talking about.
You listen to the freshmen, they talk about it openly. They're like, look, we knew coming here, it's a waiting game. You got to wait. You got to develop. You got to get to the top of your game before you can play. That's where I think maybe not to the extent of Nebraska volleyball, because it's a lot more difficult when you're dealing with 105 guys rather than 5 on the floor at the one time. It's figure out a way to raise the standard continuously, that the standard that we always hear Matt Rule talk about.
Nick, I like the fact that you mentioned all those names. Okay, you obviously have Raiola that's here. You're going to have you obviously have TJ Lateef. You're going to have Trey Taylor. You're going to have Dayton Raiola. You're going to have all those guys here. But to your point, you have to have a stable of able-bodied, skilled players, in particular at quarterback. As you know as well as I do, Nick, you can't name me a league to where if you have – now the exception would have been the Baltimore Ravens, whatever that year they won the Super Bowl. Was it Flacco? Might have been.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
What was that?
It was like 2012, I think.
Yeah, they had us. That wasn't Flacco. I can see the guy's face.
You're right. It was Flacco.
Was it Flacco?
You're good.
And this is no knock against him, because obviously he's still playing and starting for Cleveland right now. So, battled it out with Cincy and barely got beat. But nevertheless, they are an outlier. That is a freak thing when you win a Super Bowl or a national championship without a legit quarterback. And you look at Georgia, their starter is now at Miami, and they filled in just nicely as they're sitting right there at number 2 comfortably. You have to have a quarterback. And so, you may hear from one school of thought, well, man, what about chasing this guy off? Well, chase him off then. I am not going to be – Nebraska cannot be caught like they have in times past, Nick, to where they got one guy, and if he goes down, man, there goes the season. You have to have a steady stable of skilled position players, particularly at that QB position, regardless of what conference you're in.
Somebody on the text line asked, what about using Latif as a change of pace against defenses that don't play well against mobile quarterbacks? This is what I would say about that. You got to remember Nebraska has their franchise quarterback in Dylan Raiola, right? And so you don't want to – I think that sometimes we've gotten accustomed, Nebraska fans, and this is in no way of me coming at this texter. We've gotten used to seeing multiple quarterbacks in a year, and we forget how actually beneficial and how comfortable it is when you only just need one.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you only need one. Because, yes, last year, Dylan Raiola played 95% of the season, right? Like there was a game where he was a little banged up and Heinrich played for some quarterback. But I think that ultimately it is very beneficial and comforting for a program when you just there's no question. There's no, okay, well, in this situation, should they have played this guy? In this situation, could we play this guy? I think just having somebody that stays healthy, most of all, and figuring out your offense around one single guy is really, really good. Sure, there's instances where you can bring in certain packages and stuff, but then you also have to ask the question of, do you want to burn the red shirt? And you can play in 4 games without burning the red shirt. And TJ Latif, I'm sure, is going to play this Saturday against Houston Christian at some point, because Nebraska should be up comfortably on them again to where they can play a similar number of guys. So it's just, once again, reps for TJ Latif and all the guys that he works with, give them film. I want to kind of push back on this a little bit. Jordan P says no way that TJ Latif waits. And I want to push back a slight amount, because I understand where you're coming from, Jordan, but also, don't you think that was part of the pitch? Like, I think that there's something certainly to be said about when these guys are getting recruited, they know where Dylan Raiola stands in Nebraska football and where he's at on the totem pole, and where TJ Latif knows that, hey, when I go in there, I know exactly where I'm going to sit. And I think TJ Latif saw his opportunity for his true freshman year as a way of looking at it going, okay, right now I'm the 3rd string quarterback. I might not be able to contend for the starting job. How can I win the backup job? And we saw TJ Latif officially do that by beating out Jalen Gramstad. So I think, like, we have to remember that when these guys commit to places, sure, there's going to be adversity, and it's tougher to wait than maybe what you expect 6 months before you get to campus. But it's a pretty clear picture of where Dylan Raiola is, and I don't think that TJ Latif came in and was like, oh, I have a true chance to actually beat out Dylan Raiola.
It's going to be interesting, and I think I was just talking to one of the people in the audience this morning. We're talking Husker football, et cetera. And this is Todd Euler country up here. Euler's from up in this area. He's from Battle Creek, which is right down the road. But a number of people who know Todd Euler, remember Todd Euler. But so very astute fan base, very astute audience I'm speaking for. And one of the questions I would just, shoot the bull with people before, asked about the quarterback situation. And it's funny that was one of the questions that somebody asked. They said, how do we keep the ones we have that are waiting behind Dylan? I said, you know what? You got to recruit them every day. That's the bottom line. You have to recruit. The days of having guys here for 4 or 5 years straight, those days are going to be challenged quite a bit. In fact, I'm not even going on a limb on this swim. I'm just going to say those days are gone. That's going to be the exception rather than the rule anymore in certain positions. You think about the team we just played in Akron. Now, in Jay Foreman, the Hall of Famer brought up a good point. The exit of Akron's former coach was a horrible time. Didn't give him time to even really meet the players and sell the vision. You know, he lost 5 starting tackles from 5 offensive linemen from last year. He lost his top 3 receivers and 2 top running backs. So that was a very skeleton team we played. But so is the tale for other teams around the country. You bring that back to Nebraska, you have to recruit those guys every day, man. And so will it be a challenge? I think we'd be somewhat naive to think that other schools, the more tape they see on the TJ Latifs, I'm going to say this, on the receivers, Clark and Smith as well. There's a lot we don't know of schools that drop in the DMs, like that old song, "It Goes Down in the DMs." You know, there's a lot of DMs that go down, Nick, that we're not privy to. So yeah, you hope we can keep guys like that, but like I said, my mentality is to keep them just this year. Obviously, I'd love him for all 4 years. We just don't know, but right now he's a Husker, and you got to recruit those kids every year. And one of the best ways to recruit is to win.
Oh, 100%. And I think, you know, there's also something to be said about at the end of the day, as long as the staff is fairly transparent with the athlete, then if they decide to move on, you move on. Allow that to be the reason you move on instead of coach lied to me, NIL wasn't paid, promises were not kept. Allow it to simply be I just want to play football and I have better opportunities somewhere else to do that than here, rather than this person lied to me, this person didn't keep their promise, this group didn't keep their promise. Those are things you can control. If your room is just too competitive, or you just don't have room to play a guy because somebody is a little bit better in front of them, and then they decide to move on, I can't get mad at that. I can't get mad at any of that situation. But what you can get mad at somebody about is the adults in the room, or even the players, if they're not transparent with both sides. And there's things that are avoidable that are messed up and not, you know, operated correctly, if that makes sense.
Nick, it makes perfect sense, because you go back to the young man's name, I can't remember his name, that was at up in Las Vegas, UNLV. You know, it was either UNLV he was at.
Oh, yeah. Yes, the quarterback. And I can't think of his name.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. He mentioned that there were things promised that were not followed through. You had the K-State guy has said similar things. You hear that around the country. There were certain promises that were made that were not kept.
Matthew Sluka.
There you go. And obviously, we know there's always 2 sides of it. We always know there's 2 sides of it. However, the subject itself will rear its head occasionally. And I think Nick goes right when you said, as long as everybody's upfront with each other. And now, Nick, we are talking about business. It's dollars and cents now. It is, the money factor is a real factor. One of the texters mentioned, you know, can we keep, you know, the money part of it? You know, unknown texter 3763, 15 is a sitting duck. Football is evolving from statue quarterback. You know, I think that's yet to be determined. Who's going to go where? You know, but as of right now, these are the quarterbacks we have in the stable. We're going to ride with them and I kind of always say this, one of our former coaches in high school, Coach Alex Tranko. Coach Tranko would say, just play hard and let the chips fall where they may. And that's what's going to have to happen in Nebraska this year. And not just Nebraska, Nick, but at every program. You play hard and then you let the chips fall where they may. And you hope that the chips fall in your favor as far as that goes.
Scaper says this, it's so nice here in radio this year where we're not talking about if 2 plays went this way, we should have won. This is just such satisfying radio. GPR. Hey, Scaper, listen, man. I cannot tell you how many times I've told people when people have asked, you know, whether it's been at other things outside of the station, inside the station, pregame shows, before tailgates, whatever it is. They're like, well, so what do you think this season? What happens? And I go, hey, if they just keep on winning, it makes our jobs a lot more enjoyable. And so it is more satisfying all the way around. It is a full circle. This is much more enjoyable to talk about a 68-0 victory for AD, and I can promise you guys that as well.
Yes, it is. Eric, good morning to you, and DF, good morning. Thank you much. That was the other guy I was thinking of, Nick, regarding the Super Bowl quarterbacks with Trent Dilfer. Back in 2000. So thanks, Eric. Thanks, DF. Appreciate you both on that. And, you know, Nick, like I said, man, it's a money bag game now. Some will go with the money, others won't. You think about our very own, the guy that we have right now in the fold in Trey Taylor. His father didn't even reveal to him, remember this, amounts that other schools offered until after he signed to make it strictly about the school rather than the paycheck.
Come on, Dad. Give me some.
Come on.
Take a $450,000 pay cut, really? Anyway, I don't like this school as much anymore. Anyway, you're absolutely right. I think that there's a lot of purity in it. Let's take a break. We're up against the clock. When we come back, we got to talk about your Chicago Bears, AD. Your Chicago.
That would be John Goodwin's Chicago Bears. And you know what, though, Nick? I have nothing against the Bears. I think the Bears have something against the Bears the way they played last night.
Let's dive into it. We'll continue on the Husker conversation as well when we come back. It's The Drive, sponsored by our friends at Doors Plus here on The Ticket.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine. When you were a kid, clubs were cool. Robotics club and space club and stuff like that. But what do adults get? Book clubs and quilting clubs? Nah, forget that. How about margarita clubs and old-fashioned clubs? Get to Upside Bar and Lounge for the best clubs in town. Try all 10 varieties of Upside margaritas or old fashions and take home a free souvenir glass. Grab the whole crew and pair it with taco night on Mondays or whiskey Wednesdays. Upside Bar and Lounge at 29th and Pine Lake.
Since 1983, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs has been a trusted and reliable company in Lincoln and the surrounding areas. Fast Mike's handles all sides of construction projects, home renovations, or big cleanouts. With the perfect size dumpster to fit your needs, Fast Mike's Roll-Off will haul it all. With same-day delivery in Lincoln, affordable rates, and top-notch service, Fast Mike's Roll-Offs make cleanup quick and easy. Call now at 402-450-6828 or visit us online at fastmikesrolloff.com. Book your dumpster today. Fast Mike's Roll-Offs, cleanup made simple.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Blitz 250. Blitz 250 is a fully loaded pre-workout for those who want the most out of their workouts. Blitz 250 is safe for sport and banned sepsis free. Blitz 250 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For location info, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
When the clock strikes 0 after every Nebraska football game, there's only one place to go for instant coverage. Tune in for the Husker After Party postgame show on 93.7 The Ticket for each game. win or lose. Call in with all your takes or text the show at 464-5685 and hear quotes from the players and coaches too. It's the Husker After Party Postgame Show, sponsored by Anderson Ford and Vinny Krikak of State Farm Insurance. Now back to the drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainer, Aaron Davis alongside AD. Give me your general thoughts on last night's matchup. J.J. McCarthy plays in his first game at quarterback for the Vikings after he had to sit out all year last season. Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson's first game together started out okay, but then kind of hit a brick wall. What are your thoughts on the Vikings' come-from-behind victory against the Bears last night?
You know, no, Nick, you're talking about a tale of two halves. Caleb, I thought, looked good in the first half. I mean, he was elusive, missed some throws to Moore that he probably should have had. There was also some drops as far as that goes. I need to text Jeff Essing to give a welfare check on him to make sure Jeff is okay. My other buddy, you know, John Goodwin. You know, we were testing back and forth last night. Then he went radio silence after a while. I'm sure he did. Nick, you know, I'm going to say this, man. I was happy for AJ McCarron. Like I said, I don't have a horse in that race. I don't have any emotions for either one of the teams.
I'm sorry, AJ McCarron?
For Minnesota's quarterback.
JJ McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy. No, I'm not AJ McCarron. JJ McCarthy. You're like AJ McCarron.
AJ McCarron's the Alabama quarterback.
Not AJ McCarron. See, that shows you how old I am. I have a lot of quarterback names in my head.
Well,
McCarthy.
I was like, wait, did I miss something?
Was like, what happened to him? JJ McCarthy. I'm sorry.
What a random. It was more so just a random name that came out of nowhere. You could have said any quarterback. You could have said Darnold. You could have said any quarterback. You could have said Boykin from TCU. But you said
that Jackson Dart, I tell you.
They're both white. Is that why? How about this? I'll do what you do. I'll do to you what you do to me. Is it because they're both white? Is that what's going on? Aaron JJ McCarthy?
Hey, some random white guy that looks like he ought to be in a Polo commercial. I don't know.
He played for the Vikings already?
Some guy that's out there playing, I don't know, corn cob hole or cornhole, whatever it is. But no, I really was, with JJ, man, I mean, he could have easily folded after that pick six. I mean, he could have just went into a shell and just folded. Like I said, I was pulling for the Bears because that was my second favorite team compared to the Steelers. But bro, Nick, I don't know what's up with Chicago, man. I really don't. Granted, again, it's one game, just like we said on the collegiate level, etc. The season is definitely, they have a long way to go, some things to figure out. But I just could not figure out Chicago's issue. Chicago is Chicago's worst enemy. I mean, they were up at one point. What was it? 13 points, give or take.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And then stop doing everything they did to get to the lead. And it just seems like, and I know it's a first-year coach of Chicago's first-year guy. But Nick, remember we talked about this during the summer. They thought, with a 9-22 record, whatever the heck their GM is right now, they thought it'd be a good idea to give him an extension back in the summertime. So I don't understand Chicago's philosophy. I don't understand what their culture is. I don't understand what their goals are because they look so multifaceted, but all just discombobulated. I don't understand it, man. And they have weapons there. Bro.
How about this? A good friend of the station, Mike Ostie, texted me and goes, "You got to get AD some coffee." Also, this is what the Bears do. This is my life. At least the Dolphins give Jake some hope. At least the Dolphins give Jake no hope at all. The Bears tease you with hope and then crush your soul. A lot of being a Husker fan in the last 20 years.
Mike, You know, speaking of coffee, Mikey, I'm glad you brought that up. I started making coffee. Nick, I didn't change the bag from the last one. So it's a little light skin. We got a light skin brother for coffee.
Is that right?
We got a little light skin brother for coffee right now. But you know, and Mike and the rest of the Bears fans, it gotta drive them crazy in that it's almost like this, different theater, same dadgum movie. And it's gotta be just mind-numbing. But let's talk about Minnesota though, Nick.
Yeah.
It seemed like, dude, they were like dead men walking for most of the game last night. I mean, nothing was going well. JJ has the pick six. Caleb was running all over the place, running almost at will. The Bears running game had some light to it. Caleb is striking passes down the middle. And then all of a sudden it was like, boom, they're done. I can't put my finger on it, bro.
When it was on a night to where the Bears did a relatively good job defensively against Justin Jefferson. I mean, if you would have told us or just casual fans after the game, hey, okay, Minnesota, JJ McCarthy's going to have a serviceable statistical performance. It's going to be fine. It won't jump off the page at you. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. One of those is going to be for a pick six. Mason is going to lead the Vikings in rushing with 60 yards. And the leading receiver on the team with 44 yards is going to be Aaron Jones Sr. Very few people would have picked Minnesota to be victorious in that game. And so I will say this, what I was truly surprised by and very impressed was the way that this is firmly JJ McCarthy's team. We've seen now we're seeing videos on social media where it was a weird situation last year to where they draft JJ McCarthy, he gets hurt. They turn to Sam Darnold, who was the backup on the roster. Sam Darnold has himself a pretty nice year, gets himself a big contract with Seattle. And it's like, okay, is JJ McCarthy going to be able to bounce back the way he did? He was. And if you look at the way that the team rallies around JJ McCarthy, it's very impressive. And a lot of his reputation is going to get tarnished because of where he went to college at Michigan and throughout all the sign stealing and throughout all the questionable integrity there. His reputation and the viewpoint that we see JJ McCarthy is going to be tarnished a little bit. But ultimately, I'm not saying he's the real deal. This is not me coronating him as like the next best rookie quarterback, if you will. But at the end of the day, he showed the ability to lead a football team last night.
Nick, you could see on the frustration at times with Kevin O'Connell, the Vikings head coach, but it was controlled. How he had to, to rope his quarterback in from a psychological standpoint and say, hey, you got this. You're able to do this. Because there was a few series that, in my opinion, Nick, that he looked lost. Like he was rattled a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Early on, it was not good.
Yeah, it was not good early on. So I thought McConnell did a great job at bringing in his young QB, obviously, because he was hurt his entire rookie campaign last year. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was impressive that was housekeeping knocking right there. I thought that was impressive of what he did right there. I'll let you talk on that point. I'll be right back.
Take care of housekeeping there. AD's got to take care of housekeeping in just a second. But once again, no, it was really impressive, and I highly recommend if you're just a casual NFL fan. Bears fans probably stay away. But if you look at what JJ McCarthy and how he was kind of leading the team in the locker room post game, and sure, it's easier said than done, and it's easier after a win. It sure is. But ultimately, I thought it was a really good bounce back in the small scope of the game from quarter to quarter, half to half for JJ McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings. Are we gonna see a housekeeping person be making your bed behind you, AD? Is that what's gonna happen here in the next couple?
Actually, she chimed in, and she's a Bears fan, and she's pissed off as well.
There would be nothing better if the housekeeper just popped on the screen and said, "Yeah, Bears." That would have been really, really good.
Yeah, back on O'Connell though, man, I just thought he did a great job of, like I said, calming him down and saying, you know what, it's pick six. It is what it is. Get it back together. I mean, you're talking about a tale of two different dudes in a game, man, and
absolutely.
That would hurt. I mean, Bears fans, they don't play. Did you hear him booing the Bears?
Oh, yeah.
The game was
Well, and I don't know if you saw this. This comes. I mean, last night's game. Yesterday, they sent out a letter. The president, CEO, and Kevin Warren. They all sent in a letter, basically saying, "Hey, we're officially moving forward with our new stadium in Arlington Heights. This is as crucial and pivotal of a time as ever." And they were talking about how it's not going to need any state money and it's not going to be needing any tax money from people, and that it's going to be able to be funded 100%, organically and in other ways like that, to where it's not going to hinder the general public. And then they go out and lay a fat egg last night, and it's like, oh my goodness, just not a great start for Chicago. But they are going to move to Arlington Heights. Soldier Field opened up in 1924, and so the oldest NFL stadium, 1924. They're going to get out of Soldier Field and move to a new stadium in Arlington Heights over there.
Nick, you think about both of these teams, going forward, and I was kind of, just kind of glancing at their schedules, etc. The Bears, they're going to have to rally back pretty quick, Nick, because if they don't, you figure they take on the Lions, your Lions on Sunday. Then they take on the Cowboys. Then they have the Raiders. Their next 3 weeks are brutal. Your Lions coming off a tough one against their rival, obviously against Green Bay, but they'll take on the Lions. And that game against the Lions itself, like I said, there's always a lot of bad blood in that one. Imagine, then they play the Cowboys, then they have the Raiders, and then to start the month, then they have the Commanders. They don't get any respite, if you would, because obviously New Orleans could change a lot from now to then. But the next team they got that'll be somewhat manageable, in my opinion, will be the Saints, and that's week 7. Their next 5 weeks, bro, they're going to have to grow up really fast and figure some things out.
And as we go to break here, I mean, AD, think about it this way too. In a week that, there's 17 weeks or whatever it is, but it flies on by. It flies on by in the blink of an eye. We're already get to game 3, week 3 of college football, which is crazy to think about. But once again, I say that to say this is that look at the first 2 weeks of the season for one of those teams, whether it's the Lions or the Bears. After this next week, we'll have 2 divisional losses. Two losses from teams within their own division. That's a big part of it as well. So we'll see what the future holds there. Let's take a break.
Nick, quick question. Take 30 seconds and answer this. Do you think Mike McDaniel makes it through if they're not fit at least 500 by mid-season?
I don't think McDaniel. Ooh, you know what? By 500 by mid-season. Can I take it a step and say that I just don't think this is his last year with the Dolphins?
I think that's safe to say. If something doesn't change, they got the Patriots, Bills, and Jets coming up.
I could see them being, 4 or 3-3 or whatever, and then finishing the season 5-12. Like that's the way I feel like it could be. It could unravel.
And I think here's what I'll say real quick before we go to break. All of that's not on Mike McDaniels. I think a lot of that's on their GM. There's been some horrible head scratcher decisions. And quite honestly, Nick, I don't think Tua is all there. That's just me.
There you go. Jake Swartzen on the text line says fire him immediately. So there you have it. Take a break when we come back. It's the AD attitude adjustment here on the Drive Spot. Our friends at Doors Plus here on the Ticket.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather.
Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, a chance of showers and thunderstorms early this morning. Otherwise, decreasing clouds throughout the day. The high around 83. Tonight, partly cloudy skies and calm winds. Below around 62. Then tomorrow, we'll see mainly sunny skies and light winds. An afternoon high near 85. I'm meteorologist Kyle Flecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Nutrition Authority invites you to try Blitz 250. Blitz 250 is a fully loaded pre-workout for those who want the most out of their workouts. Blitz 250 is safe for sport and banned sepsis free. Blitz 250 can only be found at Nutrition Authority. For location info, check us out at mynutritionauthority.com.
MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has 0 hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
When your home fills up with family, Allo Fiber makes sure that space is a happy place for everyone. Allo Fiber experts install it all, and full service means step-by-step support, guiding you through everything so you can stay connected to what matters, and the family can always feel at home. Put the game on, and don't worry about your Wi-Fi calling a timeout. Better TV and internet service is one connection away. Call Allo at 866-481-2556 or visit allofiber.com.
Fall is here, and so are cooler temps, darker evenings, and slick roads. Is your vehicle ready for the change in seasons? At A1 Automotive, we've got you covered. From tire checks, brake inspections, batteries, and heater systems, we make sure your car is road ready for the Nebraska winters ahead. Don't wait until the first frost. Schedule your fall car care checkup today and drive with confidence all season long. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
This is your year, where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million in your pocket. The Pro Football Frenzy is free to play with prizes all season long. Weekly cash prizes up to $1,000 cash, season-long leaderboards, and a chance to win $1 million. Only at Warhorse Casino. Wagers may only be placed on Nebraska-based teams when played outside the state of Nebraska. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Gambling problem? Call 1-833-BET-OVER.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play it against sports at 48th and Vine. 93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize to participate in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the KNTK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeited. Thank you for participating in our contests, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to The Drive with Aaron Davis and Nick Sainer, sponsored by Doors Plus on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in to The Drive, 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. One final time on a Tuesday, already almost to the middle of the week here. AD, any plans the rest of the day? How are you spending the afternoons in Norfolk? Obviously, you speak in the mornings, but how do you spend the afternoons in Norfolk, Nebraska?
Nobody knows. Nick, I'm very regimented, and I'll speak again at 12:30 to 1:30 because Nucor, they're the largest steel and recycling manufacturer in the nation. So there's over 1,200 of their team that I'll speak for in 5. So I got 3 done already. I got another one at 12:30 to 1:30. Tomorrow morning is just 1. So I'm done at 9 o'clock shortly after tomorrow. And then I have 1 just on Thursday, and then I'll head back home.
Nice.
But in the afternoons, my day today is packed full with calls and Zooms. And I try to keep it just like I would be if I was at home. So for instance, I'll speak again, but I got a Zoom at 2 o'clock. I have a conference call at 3. Then I have another Zoom at 4. And then I'll go lift downstairs and lift weights, real quick and get on the treadmill and walk. And then I'll do some writing tonight. So I just try to keep it full, man. Tomorrow will be the same. And I think the client's taking me out to dinner tomorrow night or this evening. It's either tonight or tomorrow evening. But I just keep my days full like a regular day, man. So it's just, if anything, you know what, Nick? I'm less busy because I don't have any meetings, face to face. But with Zoom, you can still take care of stuff. So it's like I'm here and I'm actually getting a lot more done because I'm pretty undisturbed from writing, etc. So it works out pretty good.
Sounds like you should go to Norfolk more often.
Whoa.
All right, hold on, Nick. Don't go that far. Come on. What you got for the AD attitude adjustment?
I was thinking about this AD attitude adjustment this morning, and my clock went off 3:50, got up, did my thing. And you know what, Nick, I was thinking about the word discipline. And I talk about discipline a lot, but oftentimes I think discipline gets a bad name because it feels like it's a restriction thing. But actually, man, discipline is freedom when you think about it. And also when I think about discipline, bro, to me, it's the price you pay and the homage you pay for those whose shoulders you stand on. For me not to use the gifts, for you not to use your gifts, regardless of what you do for a living, regardless of what gifts and talents you have, someone's shoulders were strong for you to stand on to be there. So not to be disciplined in your craft, it's a disrespect to them, man. My dad was getting up between 4 and 4:30 to go clean different buildings around town. And he did it every morning, Monday through Friday. And Saturday mornings, he would go in and do the same thing, not as early. Then Sunday mornings, he was a pastor at a small church. And I'm thinking, so I want to pay homage to my parents and for those whose shoulders I stand on. So folks, discipline is not a killjoy. Discipline is paying homage to those who gave you a shot, whether that's your manager at your job, whether that's a significant other. I don't know what it is. But remember, discipline is not lack of freedom. Discipline is paying homage to those whose shoulders you stand on. And you know what, Nick? I'm going to tell you this. You bring it back to a Nebraska thing. One of the reasons why we played with so much discipline and there were very few penalties, because we played for the homage of those guys who wore the N on the helmet before we got there. So for us to go out and disrespect them and play sloppy and undisciplined and uninspired, and for the N on our chest and on the helmet rather than the name on our back, that was a slap in the face for those guys who blood and sweat is on that field. So discipline is paying homage.
There you go. You heard it there first and best from AD Aaron Davis. Good stuff as always. Enjoy it, my friend. Enjoy Norfolk. Enjoy the parking lot out your window. I just imagine that in the afternoon, you just kind of stand out there and you're just kind of looking around like, All right, here we go. This is what we got today. Play some hopscotch or something with your back. You'll be good to go. That'll do it for us. Make sure you stay tuned. The Adam Carricker Show is coming up next. A lot of good stuff there with Bach and the Black Shirt from 1 to 3, and then Old School from 3 to 5. What's up? We got 10 seconds.
So hopscotch, is that a ghetto sport? Is that why you said hopscotch?
We're out of here. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
This is your year where your team takes it all the way. Win way more than bragging rights at Warhorse Casino, where your love of the game could put $1 million